another one of these long fighters that actually used the distance very well indeed. Was caught a lot initially by her Ukrainian opponent, Maria Konotova, in the opening round of the semi-final, but then realised that she needed to step away and use her range. She had some really nice counter punches as well, very similar to the way she fought her quarter-final bout as well earlier on in the week, and used that jab as you expect these longer fighters to do. And she almost looks slightly embarrassed as she comes and makes her way to the ring about the whole occasion, but she really enjoyed yesterday's Friday's semi-final, should I say.
I think she went the wrong way initially when she came off the front of the stage. She wasn't sure whether to go through the seats or around to the right-hand side of the seat. Like you say, they're not used to this. It's usually really straightforward. You come out, very short walk to the ring. There you go, job done.
This is her opponent, Amalia Nita, the Romanian, who had a clean sweep against Hana Sarada, the Belarusian, in the semi-final. She's a really lively, springy fighter. It should be an interesting, contrasting styles in this final, with Nita, I imagine, continuing to be a little sprightly and a terrier inside the ring. Really neat, solid left-right combinations thrown in that semi-final as well. And it might be another job once again for Karolina KUHN to just ensure that she gives herself a good bit of separation and can start to time her right hands well when they do eventually come for her. Regional junior champion in the 63kg category in Poland, Karolina KUHN, this year already. The Polish junior national championship, she came second place in 2020. She does have a number of strong victories in Poland to her record. The Romanian women's junior national cup champion is Amalia Nita from 2021, and she wants to continue to add to her gold tally.
Sort of see the Polish team over there with that big flag we just saw on screen, and all those tops they were wearing, they were given those at the World Youth Championships in Kielce with the big eagle on the front. I think they were all working behind the scenes, just helping their teammates 3-4 years older out during the course of the tournament.
I'll ask you later which ones you prefer, the Polish or the Russian outfits, but we'll get down into round one and the action inside the ring as Karolina KUHN in the red, coming out of the red corner, taking on the Romanian Amalia Nita. Both fighters fairly tentative on the opening 20 seconds or so. The left hand may have just got through cleanly eventually from KUHN. Again, both fighters being a little patient and waiting perhaps for an opportunity or the first person to blink and strike first. Nice work just coming and trying to throw a few body shots there from Nita when they did get close. KUHN was expecting something upstairs. She goes for a big right hand there that doesn't connect. A good little jab from the fighter in blue, Nita. And a couple there just landed. Both of these fighters, KUHN in particular, far more springy than she was in the semi-final. Nita continuing just to bounce around the ring. Lovely head movement to duck under the reply from KUHN as Nita once again landing a couple of blows to her opponent. Getting towards the last 30 seconds of this first round. You'd say the Romanian is edging it on the balance of power at the moment.
I quite like what Nita's doing in the blue. I quite like the way she's working it, just moving around the outside of the ring. The look of the pole might be one that the judges favour because she's looking to get forward and get on the front foot, but she's landed some good shots from the outside, Nita. She's got good movement, she's got decent reflexes. Final few seconds of round one. People talk about judging boxing being about what you like. It isn't about what you like, it's about what lands, and we'll see which way they've gone. I would go blue corner.
And that's the way the judges have gone as well. 10 nines across the board for Amalia Nita, who landed a lovely left as well right at the end of that first round. She did land the cleaner of the punches and was slightly more aggressive. I say both of them came out with in a very similar fashion, but the aggression came from the fighter in blue, the Romanian. have to say there wasn't too much in reply either from Karolina KUHN, who was perhaps overly patient at times and trying to wait for something to happen. And by the time anything did happen, Nita was so quick when she went inside and got in close and decided to throw. Wasn't enough time to react almost.
Just finding it hard to catch her. She's got good movement, she's got good feet. She kind of flies around all over the place at times. I think that's deliberate. It's a bit of a smoke screen. It distracts your opponent. It makes them feel like it's maybe an even more difficult job than it is in reality to pin you down. She just needs to start hitting something, Karolina KUHN. When you're up against someone like Nita, and look at her there, it's all big, exaggerated movement. You've got to just get your feet close enough and just hit something. It doesn't have to be clean to the head. Shoulders, forearms, gloves, body, anything that might just slow her down a bit.
It's been more aggressive from Karolina KUHN here in the second round and the first 30 seconds of that second round. There still hasn't been too much to trouble, and Nita going down low and getting a body shot inside as she tried to duck underneath. Almost trying to goad on Karolina KUHN by leaving her head there and looking for perhaps a counter, swinging with a big right hand that was nowhere near her opponent. You can hear the Polish fans just from the opposite side of the ring to where we are, calling on Karolina KUHN.
Nita's able to just stay on the outside because she's got decent reach, but she's quick, isn't she? As you say, she cuts that distance down, throws those punches from the outside, or cuts it down enough, and she does it quickly. She's got quick hands, quick reaction. She's just got that edge and speed in everything she does over Karolina KUHN.
Oh, that's a big right hand that catches round the side of the head, and the forearm was used, as pointed out by the official. That's the trouble when you have those big looping, swinging left and right hands that we've seen already from a couple of fighters. So it's very easy to catch with the forearm. It's not a clean hit, but it still deals a hefty blow to the opponent, who will still feel it a little bit despite the head guard. Again, a lovely quick 1-2 from Nita. Once more, the head just being knocked back and held back almost of Karolina KUHN, as she felt the power of that. Again, looking to go low, something we haven't seen too often from some of the fighters, but Nita seems happy to just throw a quick one into the body and around the side at times. And once again, the judges going with the Romanian 10-9s across the board, except for the Finnish judge going with a 10-8 in the Romanians' favour, and she is in command now in this final.
Absolutely. Been a good display, been a really good display. KUHN has done her best just to try and get those feet close and let those hands go, but she's constantly being turned, she's constantly being moved, she's never really able to get into range, get into distance and land on her opponent.
There was a point in that second round where you did think it was improving slightly from Karolina KUHN, perhaps in the opening 45 seconds to a minute, and there were a couple of left jabs that just caught the chin of Nita, but there wasn't enough of a follow-up. There's not quite the same sort of speed when she throws compared to Nita in this final. As round 3 gets underway, and you feel the Polish fighter in red now just fighting for pride in this final round. Nita again trying to use the speed on the counter. Looking for a left around the side of the head, just as KUHN had thrown a couple of shots that were flying at nothing but air. Keeping that head moving, the Romanian as well, darting it from left to right at times, just to be as difficult a target to hit as possible. She needs to keep that head up though. Again, there's a great amount of confidence just coming off the fighter in blue. Nita again just leaning her head in, starting to strut around the ring rather than just step, and really enjoying this final round where she's still not taking too much contact from her opponent, using her agility, her balance. A nice left as well, just as she stepped away, throwing a jab as she moved.
KUHN's persevering here. You can see her every time she closes in. And then Nita manages to elude her. She'll reset. She'll get back into position. She'll pick up those feet and look to try and close that gap down again. She's doing everything that she can, really, but that big lead right hand brings a standing count there from the referee.
Well, that was right on the jaw, and plenty of power in that punch. A really vicious shot as the final 10 seconds of the final round, and suddenly Nita is holding nothing back. And looking to finish with a flurry. The tap of the gloves, it's all over, and the Romanian knows. I think Karolina KUHN knows as well, and she looks already distraught in her corner. That fight just never went her way and never looked like it was going her way, as Amalia Nita was able to assert herself very quickly. And it was just her speed and movement made her difficult to hit. And she was very quick with the shots that she threw. She continued to find ways through the defences of Karolina KUHN.
It's just frustrating, that, for KUHN, because you're in a final and she'll probably come away from this feeling like she was never really in it. She just couldn't really get into the fight. As I said, she did everything she could, but Nita is a good fighter. Like, her movement is impressive.
And the Romanian takes gold as expected, much to her delight. I mean, she puts the effort in. Been told that she trains around about 20 hours a week, which is a hell of a lot of time to dedicate to it, but she is certainly still learning, but starting to really get to grips with her craft, and her skills on show in that final. And a very good performance as the bouts continue to come thick and fast here in Georgia. But that one just about that was rather one-sided in the end. Just looking at the final judges' scorecards as well, there's another couple of 10-8s on there for the Romanian, 3 10-9s as well, but another very commanding performance after some very tight opening 5 fights. And this string of bouts has really been quite one-sided, a lot of them.
They have. We've seen some really good performances, different kind of styles. Now you look at somebody like Karina Korobova and Amalia Nita, for example, who both won their fights comprehensively, as did Daria Novinskaya, and Nita totally different to Novinskaya and Korobova. Completely different.